Shitting! Welcome to Horns and Wings.
Hey, guys and other guys. We finally got that payoff. I'm gonna fade out the theme music. I'm Jonathan O. Roselion.
And I'm Noah. And you're listening to Horns and Wings Live. Guys, it's like I was saying to John, it's like Christmas Eve. Saga's coming back in like less than 24 hours.
Oh, I still need to. I forgot to add it to my pull list because that's how long it's been. Is that Saga is just not in my. I've had a pull list for like 2+ years and it is not in it. That's how fucking long it's been gone. But it's gonna be back.
It's been gone. I don't have a pull list. I don't have a regular comic book shop. That's how long it's been gone.
Mine closed. is the problem. That's how long it's been gone.
I moved is the problem. Twice.
I'm old now.
Yeah. Yes, that also actually, that one does really get in the way.
No, we've gone here. I'll fix that. You went from quiet to too loud in classic Noah fashion. You got that.
Yeah,
you got that stream energy.
That's because I set the mic up and then I get excited and I lean into the mic, Days on Day style, except inverse Days on Day.
You did the old reverse Days on Day, classic mistake. But we're talking about our predictions for the upcoming, not just issue 55 of Saga, but issue 55 through issue 108. We're going to cover each and every single issue. We're going to plot it out. We're going to go scene for scene what's going to happen. Now, we're going to do a bunch of broad stuff, but I do have a general kind of shape of what this is going to be. Oh, Odd Amy already in the chat. Hello.
Yeah. What up, Odd Amy? Anyone else there in the chat? Anyone make yourselves known?
Which we will want to hear from people in the chat. Mm-hmm.
If Odd Amy's in the chat, that does mean like 30% of our fans are here. it's like we just need Hat Eating Cthulhu Goat and Ben.
We have a bit of a. I'm gonna break this down into. I'm gonna say. Let me count. 9 sections we have for this live stream. So I don't want to linger on anything too long. I do have a hard out and a hard now. And I will kind of keep it organized in the sections for what we'll be talking about today. I'll run them down.
It's good you're gonna keep it organized because I very am not.
No, you're literally capable of it. I'm gonna run down the sections here.
Medically.
So if you have any predictions, feel free to drop them into the chat when we're in a remotely appropriate section, or if it's at all related to anything we've said. But these sections are, you know what, just disregard everything I'm saying, really. But the sections are...
I usually do.
You don't have to... It's one thing for me to keep us organized, but for you to combat that, it makes it a little tougher. And also let me know in the chat if audio's fucked, if I need to turn down music or down Noah or mute Noah or remove Noah from the podcast in general. Just let me know in the chat.
Oh, that'd be great.
But let me get through
then I
these
can
sections.
just enjoy Saga. Okay, I'll let you get through
that
these
would be a first. The first section we're going to talk about is what's the state of things in issue 55, where we're picking up, because spoilers. Oh, by the way, fucking spoilers for everything. We've never gotten to do this before, which is very exciting.
Left, right, and center.
Spoilers for everything in the past. Spoilers for everything in the future, because we're gonna get everything right.
I'm gonna make a post in the chat that says if you're coming late, this is a spoilery discussion.
Okay.
So,
and you know what? And I'll post sections as we get to them of talking points as we get to them. So if you're coming in late, you'll know what the talking point is. But the first one is, what is the state of things in issue 55? Where are we jumping back into the stories? And section 2, fun one, light one. Any cool new species or spaceships, or any variations on old species or spaceships that you want to see? Which I think we'll have some good brainstorming for that one. Third one should be contentious. Who dies first? What main character dies first?
My hope is that a main character.
So we'll find out. Ooh, I should add one to my list here. But section 4 is gonna be what will Saga ultimately have to say about its themes? What's the moral? What are we gonna learn from this thing? What's gonna be the takeaway? And maybe what themes do we want to see it touch on? And section 5 is gonna be where do we see some specific character storylines going? So filling in that blank between the next issue and the last issue of what's the kind of trajectory we see? What are some maybe loose ends that have yet to be tied together? Section 6 is going to be what's the state of things come issue 108. So the inverse of the first section. Where are we going to be at come 108? Section 7 is just straight up, how does it end? We're gonna figure out how it ends. What's the last scene? What's the last line? We'll figure it out. Section 8, just filling in some of the, if there are any theories we didn't get out. What are some things you want to see happen most? This music is going fucking hard right now, and I love it. So, just stray things of like, here are some characters you want to see come back or that we haven't seen yet, or events that will take place. And then finally, section 9, the final section. Am
I shitting? It's gonna be the question.
What are your most batshit theories? So we go just fucking full, like, things that will not happen, will definitively not happen. But if it does happen, can you fucking imagine?
The great thing about batshit theories when it comes to Saga is there might actually be like theories about batshit. Like I would be honestly shocked if batshit does not appear over the next arc.
Yeah, but will it be our batshit? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. So let's start out. I'll drop it into the chat here. What is the state of things in issue number 55? Question mark. Noah, do you have, where do we, here, I'll start because I feel like this is something Noah,
No.
I don't care. I don't care what you have to say about this, because I do think this is just a good thing to start out with, is just the fact that there is now, this was a theory of mine for a while as the hiatus grew longer, and it's been confirmed by the cover, and that was we would get a time jump that was as long as the hiatus. And I'll go ahead and put the cover up on the screen of issue 55, and we see that I mean, Alana's hair is much longer. Hazel is definitely older, and we got this cool koala guy. Who is he?
We'll find out.
Wait, no, we can tell right now. Who is this? What's the name of this character, Noah?
Jim.
Jim?
Yeah, famously Saga name.
Oh, I'm gonna say Chim.
Chim.
Yeah.
Chim.
We have Odd Amy in the chat says, God, it's hard to remember who's alive at this point, which is very true. Noah and I actually both...
No one is alive.
We both skimmed through the entire series in the last, 24 hours. And I can confirm that skimming through it, I was spending 15 minutes of volume skimming through it. I still cried at the end of, which is the first time we've been able to talk about it in anything Horns and Wings related. Fucking Marco
It feels
dying.
taboo even saying it.
It does. I mean, just because it also hurts, and we haven't had that coping session yet collectively because we haven't been able to talk about spoilers. But Marco dying, still literally skimming through the book, made me cry.
Oh God, it's not a fan of that. Not a fan of Marco dying.
We got SPTV in the chat, Ben. We got the droid you're looking for in the chat.
Yeah.
And 4 dies and also fucking, I mean, literally within 3-4 issues we get Doff dying too. And
yep.
What's her name? Ianth? We'll cross that bridge at some point pretty soon here. But yeah, no, that's it's very much a red wedding situation. Do we think that there will be a death very early on, maybe 55? Can we are they that fucking evil?
I think we're gonna have. I think that immediately we're gonna have an arc that's gonna start off just a ton of fun. I think we're gonna be dropped in when Marco and Alana, Marco R.I.P. When Marco and Alana the heist episode where they meet the combustibles and they're stealing from the archives. That's so much fun after something so heavy. I think we're gonna start with something that's very the first issue. I'm sure it'll establish stakes and stuff, but it'll be it'll be like, I just think it's going to be a romping good time off the top. And Odd Amy says, I forgot about Doff, so I'm mad yet again. And yep, I had forgotten about Doff too. And then I went to reread, and I was like, oh, no. I
Yeah.
really like Doff. I really like
Oh,
Doff.
great. And that's why, like, yeah, we'll get to our predictions for, who we think will die first. But Doff definitely influenced some of my predictions on that. So here's the thing. You talking about it being a fun time. I have something that I've been thinking about for a good year plus now. And it's something that really upsets me. And it is the idea that come issue 55 and this time jump, given the way that Marco died on a spaceship leaving, what was it? Is it Flotsam?
Oh my god, are they not gonna know he's dead?
I think they might not know he's dead.
Oh Jesus.
They're not gonna say like, oh hey, this person, like we killed this person. Like I don't know if they're gonna say that on like the news or anything, just because they would have to reveal why he was a bad person, which was having a hybrid child, which they want to keep under wraps. So that is my first big theory, is they don't know if Marco's dead. And that will also play into some of my other predictions. But that is fucking heartbreaking to me. Just the possibility of that.
I have a bit of a theory. This one might be a bit out there. But I think that like there's a time jump here. I think that when we leave Alana, I think Alana was pregnant, and I think there's going to be a time jump, and they're going to come back, and we're going to come back, and Hazel's going to have a sibling.
Oh, now that would be fucking crazy. That's
I would say I'm not very confident about that one.
Yeah. We should have like a rating scale of how confident or unconfident. Like the time jump is now a 5. I'm like I'll say I'm like a 3 or 4 for the they don't know.
I think
Marco's alive.
You've convinced me on that. I think that I agree that that's a good one. That's a good theory.
I mean, and here's the thing that kind of that would kind of fuck with that, if anything, in terms of evidence, is that we assume that Alana is now with Koala Guy. That was my assumption, is that Alana is in a relationship with Koala Guy.
Yeah.
Maybe. I would love just a little cute meet thing. Meet cute.
I mean, I'd be also though, like maybe it is just like a friend, but yeah, no, it definitely looks like Koala Guy is part of this family, and also just in terms of what like talking about family and stuff like that, dealing with a step parent seems like an arc that Saga would do. Like that seems in fact
100%.
I kind of think that's going to be one of the main points of tension in the first arc, is Hazel dealing with having a stepdad. I think that's something that seems very Saga to me.
Mm-hmm. And Odd Amy points out that they didn't think that Koala Man came off as being the stepdad based on the cover, but the thing that I think cements it for me is how much this cover with the white background parallels the first cover, and except he's now in Marco's spot, and then so I think that occupies just. He's occupying that position in the family also. He's taken Marco's spot, which is really interesting.
Well, and he's also just rocking the oversized t-shirt and khakis in a way that just screams dad energy, you know?
Well, you know what? That brings me to my next prediction, which is better fat person representation with Chim, the koala man.
Chim the koala man.
Canonically Chim.
Yeah, we know everything. We're predicting everything, John.
We know what it is. Which, by the way, this is a shameless plug. But if you like me just deciding canon for things, which we got to have you on an episode. But on the Make Stuff Patreon, Haley and I do a drunken podcast where we just watch the last episode of a TV show we've never seen, and then fill in our headcanon for what happened leading up to that. So if you like this, amazing. If you like this dumb shit, check out Satisfying Conclusions on the Make Stuff Patreon. Noah, we definitely got to get you on that. But
Yeah, just give me a time and I'll be there.
5 minutes.
Let's stop right now.
Let's
Yeah,
not do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm hoping I would love for this just to be just a great badass. I mean, they're obviously doing good representation with him too, in terms of he has part of an arm, and he's like
disabled.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for Chim.
Okay, you want to hear a here's a I would call this a 1 on the confidence scale. Chim the Koala Man is somebody we know in a new body.
Oh shit! Oh, I love that. They've set
that up. They do set up the new body, yeah.
Although I think they implied that it was gonna be
the
underwater
amphibian. Yeah.
But
yeah, this is why I'm on a number 1. I'm not very confident on this one at all, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, no, that would be really cool. I mean,
and my guess as to who it is,
even if
obviously
it is
Squire. It's Squire.
Yeah, no, I love that. But yeah, that's really, like, even if it's not specifically canonically Chim, then I like the idea of
somebody being in a new body.
Like that reveal of eventually we figure out this is the person who's changed bodies. So if we see any person from Flotsam Jetsam, whatever it is, you'd think I'd figure out what the fuck the name of that place is at this point. So
Jetsam.
I'm gonna say thank you. I'm gonna say also, because here, let's switch over, because
do you know what the difference between Flotsam, completely unrelated, do you know what the difference between Flotsam and Jetsam is?
I've known it at some point, and it's I know one of them, it's just like floating, is it like floating or sunken shit at sea?
So both of them are like sea debris. Jetsam is stuff that has been intentionally jettisoned, like jetsam, and Flotsam is stuff that is like presumably not, like, shipwreck stuff and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
Something might want to salvage. Yeah, and that might have flopped out accidentally. That's how you remember
exactly. Yeah.
Man, you should write like some kind of seafaring novel. Yeah. So let's jump around, because I'm gonna say we've seen at this point.
Jump around. Jump up, jump up.
No, and get down. We just got copyright struck. All right. Sorry, everyone. But we're going to jump around to different issue covers here, because I'm going to count them as being the state of things come 55. Because I think, by the looks of it, we're jumping to see different people post the hiatus, post the time jump.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm gonna go over really quick I'm gonna skip to issue, and I think one of these you probably haven't seen. No, I'm guessing you haven't seen issue 58's. Because I know I've sent 3 of them to you.
I may not have. Yeah, I have been.
So we'll get to it.
I haven't been looking at them a ton.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So let's look at 57 really quick here, and we see it is the Will offering Lion Cat. This is one of my favorite details. It's the stinky fish that Goose eats. He's offering Lion Cat a stinky fish.
This one, my prediction for this episode is it is going to destroy me. That's my prediction.
Yeah. No, and also, yep, it's the yellow sky. So we are on Wreath.
Yep.
And here's something that I was actually talking to Ben of SPTV about, and that is like whether or not what is the Will's hand situation right now, because it looks like he has a hook, but also a hand.
Yeah.
And I suggested maybe he has like robot tech where he has a shape-shifting hand. I would love that. But I love the black glove, the Luke Skywalker black glove has been.
Yeah. I kind of assume the hand situation is less of a like robot tech and more of a like he still has his hand, but his hand is badly mangled.
Oh my god! Well, at this point, what his hand has been the 4 of the fingers have been chopped off. The lance blew up in his hand, and then it was crushed with fire from Marco's from fighting with Marco. So I mean, this thing has to be just fucked at this point.
Just absolutely fucked.
So talking of the will, this is where I think things get really, really interesting, because if you think about it, at this point, the will has constantly had those visions of the Stalk telling him, this is what you need to do to get everything you want. And it was always go get Gwendolyn Marco. And he has now gotten Gwendolyn Marco. And he got his revenge from on Prince Robot, R.I.P.
I have a theory on the will.
Mm-hmm.
I think the will is going to be a pacifist now.
That's interesting. I essentially have that in my predictions, but him getting there, I want to see, because I think it's going to be that not to throw you off with an Avatar reference, but a Zuko type thing where it's just the bad guy getting everything.
James Cameron movie.
Yeah, the bad guy getting everything they want, and then realizing, oh, I'm still a fucking monster. I'm still a piece of shit. And I really think it is going to be the will has achieved everything he wants. I think the will's going to be having an affair with Gwen. That's a big prediction for me. Is that the will having done everything?
What would you put that? Yeah, no. What would you put that confidence at?
I'm
like
gonna
a 3?
say I'm gonna say a 4 for that one. I think it's either that or lower confidence. It's a thruple. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna bump it down and say thruple.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2 confidence for thruple, 4 confidence for the Will and Gwendolyn will hook up in this first arc, or trade or volume, and I think that he's gonna be essentially Sophie's dad. Like, they're gonna be a family, but he's going to be haunted by all of this shit, especially if he takes on the role of father to Sophie, of having killed Marco. And I think he's going to move towards pacifism, and that is going to lead us to I'll save the rest of that for where the storylines we see going.
I want to talk a bit about the pacifism thing, because in kind of like getting caught up, I was really noticing, I mean, and in general, we've been talking about this in a lot of the episodes that are going to be coming up soon. That's a little teased. But I think that like a lot of stuff that's happening thematically there's a real focus on like violence and the cost of violence, and in everything that we see kind of culminating, it's that like what the will has just gone through is Yanthe is just showing him all of the violence in his life and showing him the circles of violence that create trauma, like his father beating him going on. He's gone through this journey.
The most fucked up therapy session.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think the most fucked up therapy session is Marco's fadeaway trip. There's a lot of fucked up therapy sessions.
It's
but yeah, I think the cycles of violence are a big thing, and I think that's the character arc there that he's gonna enter. And then also, Odd Amy in the comments, there's gonna be the whole thing where Sophie wants to be a bounty hunter. So maybe it's he like has that, like maybe the pivotal moment for him is seeing Sophie as a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I think
maybe
she is a bounty hunter, and like she is a freelancer by now in this. And this interaction is the will running into her as a freelancer.
Well, I'm sorry to dethrone and fuck up everything here that has been predicted, but I will point out that in issue 41 of Saga, where the Will originally comes back to the group being like, hey, I want to take Sophie under my wing as a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
She says, I've now realized that politics are more effective ways of changing people's lives than being a freelancer. So we get that like, I don't know. It'll be, I think that if anything happens to Will or Gwen or anyone, that will be the thing that pushes her into being a freelancer. But I'm not personally convinced that she will be one
that
yet.
makes sense. Yeah, I had forgotten about that line.
Damn
it, Sean.
And just to touch on, we have issue 56 here, which is the cover of Squire remembering for teaching him how to shoot an arrow. One thing I want to point out immediately with this that's really interesting, his screen's no longer crayons. It's all this is high definition, which I think shows
the shape,
the maturity that he's gone through with whatever fucking went down, all the nightmares that he's gone through.
The shape, it looks like he looks like his mother. He like bears the resemblance to his mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That screen shape of I'm interested. That's interesting that they've kept the round screen, which is a really smart way to kind of differentiate them from him from Prince Robot. But I think, and we'll definitely get it more into it with where we see character storylines going. But I think at this point, Squire will just straight up be out for revenge. That cycle of violence will be out for revenge against the Will. I also think Petrichor is raising him and training him to fight, like she was with Hazel. I think he's gonna be out for blood, and I have some interesting theories about where his arc is gonna go. Any the State of Squire theories?
I agree with you in that. Like, I think he's gonna be just the next in this chain of revenge.
Oh yeah. Especially considering what he learned from his father while his father was alive.
But I think the other thing that's interesting with Squire is that there's a comment in the later issues where like Isabel refers to him as her, or not Isabel, jeez, Hazel. I wish Isabel still existed. Yeah. Refers to him as her brother, right?
Yeah, he became my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the thing is, that could kind of go two ways, because on the one hand, it could just be like, you know, they hang out a lot in the montage there as they're on Jetsam, like that stuff is kind of there.
Yeah,
but I do wonder, like there's not enough there that really makes me feel like they were like siblings, you know, like that made it seem like they were good friends. So I wonder if there's gonna be something there where like he's had more time with the family, and was kind of adopted into the family. It's hard to tell though.
Here, I have a quick question. I mean, I think like I don't see why him and Petrichor aren't still hanging out with the rest of the group. I can see them still being
the gang.
Yeah. But really quick question that we didn't touch on with this issue 55 cover. What do you think these flyers are that Alana's handing out? Apparently.
Yeah. Are they flyers? They kind of look like cash to me. I wasn't sure.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I think they're so big that I assumed they're flyers. I mean, it could be for a magic show, but you know what? Yeah. It could tie into. Let's show issue 58's cover.
Okay, I haven't seen this one.
Yep. It is a band of entirely new characters.
A band?
A musical band. Please do a polyphonic video about whatever this band is.
That would be the dream.
Now, here is my assumption about this, and we'll get into this whole arc. I mean, there's actually not much more to it beyond this, but I think that everything we've seen is setting up. Hazel will become a singer, will become a musician. I think this will be kind of her biggest influence in doing that is this band that I'm
This
assuming
band,
will be in her. And I went back. This is a theory I came up with when I was not looking at the issue cover and looking at it afterwards. I was like, oh, that's not true at all. But I had a theory, and so I'll say this with a 0.5% confidence here. I had a theory that what if Hazel was the singer of this and she disguises herself as a robot?
Yeah, that doesn't hold a lot of weight.
This looks way too tall. It's got gray skin and everything, and also how would the screen operate. But I love that orange, like 2000s, in your bedroom Nickelodeon TV on this character. That's great. And we got the goth bassist and the fucking rad space keyboard, as Amy points out.
I think,
and then frog drummer is fantastic.
I will call this is not a very high probability thing. We'll maybe call this to 1. But the goth bassist, that looks like the bat person species, right? When they're on Gardenia, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's Ginny's kid?
Oh, well, Ginny's kid was older than Hazel, so that'd be pretty crazy. And it could be.
The thing is, I'm not very confident on that, because that's kind of a Star Wars, everyone is related to somebody who knows the Skywalkers.
That was something that I tried to resist a lot with coming up with these predictions. It's just not basing it entirely off of everything I already knew, because Saga is so fucking good at inventing. And it's just if you read the first 3 volumes or 4 volumes of Saga, I would have in no way been able to predict what the fuck went down in volumes 5 through 9. And so that's why we're gonna be absurdly wrong, but also that
we're
leaves
right
us so
about
much
it.
so
We're not
much room
predicting, we're telling them stuff, John.
All right,
didn't you miss that?
Noah, let's move on to section 2 here, which is I'll write in the chat, any cool species / spaceships. So anything
all right.
Anything based off old stuff, anything totally new.
I have a thing here. I'm not sure this could be a species or a spaceship. Just the prompt I'm giving is broccoli.
Oh, I like this. All right. That's interesting.
We haven't seen any. I don't think we've seen broccoli at all, and I feel like that's something I could picture a broccoli man.
Oh yeah.
I could also picture a broccoli ship.
I could picture a broccoli mountain, a broccoli planet.
Yeah, a broccoli planet. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I really like this. What is your confidence on this one?
I would put this at a 5. I'm gonna say broccoli is a 5.
Okay, this is the thing we are now looking out for throughout the remainder of Saga.
Yeah.
Which, okay, really quick, do you want to hear something that'll blow your fucking mind, Noah?
No.
Okay. So anyway.
No, what'll blow my mind, John?
What will blow your mind is the fact that, I'll move this back to 55 here. So I did some loose math on this. We're getting the new issue, come, tomorrow. Oh. Jesus Christ.
Also, Odd Amy just says, Noah just wants to eat the rocket ship tree. I will have you know that I hate broccoli, so
yeah, no,
I don't think...
No. I literally had a whole bowl of plain broccoli today, and it fucking just ruined my whole day. And my fucking teeth hurt after it.
I try to eat broccoli every day because I don't want to die, but man, do I hate it.
But yeah, so I did some math. If they stick to their kind of 9-month thing of 6 issues, then they take the 3 months off and release the trade, then that means, if my calculations are correct, that Saga will hit issue 108 in the fall of 2028.
What?
So Noah,
oh god,
we're gonna be around for a fucking minute.
This is the thing, John. Is my reaction there is you're like 2028, and I'm like, oh my god, that's in like 20 years. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's
No, it's not.
2022.
Oh, here's okay, and I'll save I have a prediction like that correlates with that that we'll get to with where we think the state of things will be in at issue 108. But the state of the world issue 108 is
God.
will be the last two people by then.
Pure, certainly. I mean, by my state of the world will be like, I have not that much doubt that by 2028 America will be a fascist country.
I'll be living in Canada for sure, and we will record this in person come 2028, 100%. So
yeah, I would put it at a 6 confidence that America will be fully fascist by 2028.
But that gives us a good 6.75 years to look forward to just try to find that broccoli. I'm really excited for it. Okay, my first species / spaceship prediction. An astronomical crotch. I want to see.
Oh, like a
the
giant
cod piece. No, I want to see the cod piece of the Bill.
Yeah.
The David Bowie labyrinth size cod piece of the astronomical as its own Last Revolution ship.
I'm a big fan of that. I like that.
By the way, good advice from Ben. Pretend to be a dinosaur when you eat broccoli. See, that's the advice only Dad could give. That's some solid shit.
Yeah.
Also, in terms of a species, I'm gonna say, and we all know this will be a nice little nod to this podcast that they love. I think we'll see a rose lion. I think we'll see a rose, hybrid lion. Petals is the main. We're gonna see it, but at the very least, we'll see a lion. We'll see a lion person.
So, I think a species that we have seen but have not like met as a character. I think we'll have an elephant person character. We've seen elephant people, but we haven't really
haven't gotten one as a character. Yeah. Which I like that they're like variations of how much like this animal they are. If you look at Chim, it's canonically Chim. Like he's just the same with the bat people. They got the nose and the ears. Same with the horn people, sort of. They got the nose and the ears, and everything else is normal. And then you have people that are just full alligators. And so, but yeah, we saw an elephant for one panel in the end wife.
Yeah. Or alternatively, similar to elephant, I would actually be. I think we will see a tapir character.
Oh, I like that.
Except I think we will see a tapir as a freelancer companion.
Oh, yeah. We've already go back to our ideas for freelancer pets. I would love to see any of those. But Odd Amy points out that there is a Rose Lion in Steven Universe. Why do you think I love Steven Universe so much, Amy? My last prediction here for a new species. Oh, actually, really quick. Odd Amy also points out: have we gotten a musical instrument spaceship yet?
Which, that's 100% going to be the spaceship of the band that we see. Yeah.
What is? Oh, you know what? I want their spaceship to just be like a fucking van, though.
No,
like an old van with a wizard painted on the side.
You mean like in Spaceballs, basically?
Oh yeah. But like classic band van.
Yeah.
Of we see like a fucking griffin or some Pegasuses.
I will bet you money that if we see an instrument spaceship, it's gonna be a bass ship.
I wonder. Wait. Well, okay. What else could? Because for the robot ones, we've seen a nut and we've seen a drill bit and we've seen the weird shake weight thing that I don't know what it's supposed to be. I like trumpet spaceship. You know, I want a trumpet to be like a. You know what? I want a trumpet weapon. I want a trumpet weapon for sure. Of it shoots out like Sweet Boy style, shoots out darts or whatever. Also, I think that's a trigun bad guy is a guy that plays saxophone and it creates like shockwaves. He's the fucking best. But yeah, the droid you're looking for asks, will it play music while flying? That's the thing, right? I would love just a big speaker too.
It's a big speaker.
Okay.
We've kind of gotten one that's a big speaker, haven't we?
We got
Don't the robots have one that's literally like a big like the like cone of a speaker?
Yeah. There's like I think that's the end of the drill ones that look like that. The drill bit ones. But yeah. I will say, okay, here's my last species / character prediction here. I want us to get a freelancer that is one of the heads with legs that we saw in Sextillion. I want a freelancer.
Oh, I love that.
And see how they use weapons and stuff like with their mouths or legs.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Any other species or spaceship predictions, or are we moving on to section 3?
I think we're moving on to section 3.
All right, section 3. Who dies first? Who is the first main character to die? I have some runners up.
I gotta think of like what's the cast of characters right now.
Just about everyone.
Know who is not really part of the story right now, but know who I could actually sneakily see as the first main character to die? Clara,
I have some big theories about.
Okay.
So that's interesting that you're just fucking killing her off before I can do anything with her, Noah. Yeah, I think Clara's a solid one. Even if, it could be like they've found a semi-quiet life.
Exactly.
Like issue 55, and then that will be the thing that just starts shit again or something.
Yeah, like they just like find out that Clara, one way or another, they find out that Clara has died. Like in a very like unceremonious. Like I don't even know if you'd see her die. Like just a like sort of dying off screen. Like your grandma died. That sucks,
no,
right?
Die off screen in Saga? What the fuck are you talking about? You 0% confidence in that one. Ben says the will, which is a fucking fucking call your shot on that one.
I can't. No, I can't deal with that. Ben, fuck off.
Well, I will say though, like there is that in that Game of Thrones type way. We got the Red Wedding, and then we got Joffrey dying like right after that. But in that case, like I guess Joffrey's more akin to fucking Special Agent Gale or something.
Yeah.
Which I could totally see him dying soon, but also I would not consider him a main character. But then points out either him or Lion Cat. Now I will say, and I know this is cheating for predictions, but I will say Brian K. Vaughan has warned us, just to emotionally prepare us, that Lion Cat, well, he originally said, because this was with the reveal of the original cover for 55, we hadn't seen issue 57 yet, he said Lion Cat might already be dead come the new issues, because Lion Cat was already old for its age and is getting and only has the lifespan of an actual cat.
Nope.
So he suggested that Lion Cat could already be dead, and that makes me think
that Lion Cat is a hallucination of the Wills.
Oh my god. No. I think Lion Cat is alive. That Brian K. Vaughan's just fucking with us, but is also preparing us for Lion Cat to die of like natural causes, which would be the first fucking person since like Barr to die of natural causes ish. But also, okay, am I allowed to say?
Curdy the second, not Curdy the
Curdy's
died
next
of natural causes. No, died of natural causes.
Okay, people are very, very unhappy about the idea of a lion cat. Asking if lion cat's a lion kitten. So lion kitten does come into play of my predictions later. That I think we will get the death of lion cat invariably in this series because the lion cat is not going to live for another 7 years, assuming this series will stay real time. I do think the consolation is going to be lion kittens. I'm not sure if that will play into I'm not sure if lion cat will be the first one to die, but I think that is in my top 2 predictions of who dies first, who's on first, is
I don't know who's on second.
Third base is is that lion cat dies, but we get lion kittens. I think will be the emotional compromise.
That's not a compromise, John.
So Trenton points out, what about Petrichor or Upshur? And this brings up something that I was going to say in regards to Doff. I think this is getting a little meta now, and I don't know if we can hold Saga to these standards, but I do think there is that cliche of
kill the gays.
And so that is the thing that I think is protecting Petrichor and Upshur the most right now, and that's why Upshur did not make my list of who dies first, because if you kill Doff and Upshur off like fucking immediately, like you will at least get accused of that regardless of context, like no matter how well you do it.
Also, we like one arc before 4 dies, we get 4 is gender fluid and queer as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, he's been knocking them off left and right. So I think with because really the anything resembling backlash to Saga has generally been Petrichor related, right? And and then the prudes, and then the fucking you showed a blowjob on iOS, but I think that that's why they did not make my list. So I'm gonna list off. I'm gonna say these in ascending order of how confident I am that they are going to be the who dies first.
Lance Corporal McHenry.
Never gonna die. They're behind it. Well, they'll be the Emperor Palpatine at the end of it, so they'll die last for sure. That's gonna be the payoff of 108. But
that's what we've been waiting all these years for.
In fourth for me is Gwendolyn. I think that and I think it's gonna be the Will Sins catching up with them thing. Which I'm not entirely huge on, but also she's very much entrenched in politics and shit, and plenty of people are motivated. Third place, I hate to say this, Noah, I think Goose could die to reinforce the Squire revenge complex.
You're pushing my luck. You're pushing your luck here, John.
I would have said Friendo, but I don't know if we can call Friendo a main character as much as Goose.
Oh, Friendo is the main character of this story, John. I have no clue what you're talking about.
I'm sorry to everyone in the chat about saying Goose
Saga,
might die.
A Friendo Chronicle.
Saga presents Friendo. It's gonna be like a fast saga, but a saga Friendo.
Friendo, saga. I love that.
In second
Very
place,
big fan of Friendo was Saga.
In second, so Goose is taking my third place. Second place, second most confident, Lion Cat, and we get Lion Kittens. And then my number one most confident prediction here, I'm gonna say we lose the fucking rocket ship tree, and that's going to be the main character that dies first. Is rocket ship
100%. I will 100% agree with that. Rocket ship tree is definitely gonna die, because there's gonna be, and again with the Saga theme thing, there's gonna be something about moving, right? and
Mm-hmm.
like moving out of your childhood home.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's where the rocket ship tree arc is kind of gonna go.
Yeah, which that's a really good way to look at it, of like what relatable childhood thing will they use to tie together the just most fucked up things they can think of. But yeah, I think we'll lose the rocket ship tree first. All right, Noah, do we want to move on to section 4?
Yes, but I want to move on to another beer quickly. So Van,
Go for it. All right. Section 4, ladies, gents, and otherwise, is themes, baby. We are going to talk about what this has to say, what the moral of the story is going to be. I'll go ahead and make the screen prettier. You can look at all the animations that I spent so long on. I love doing these things. Yeah, we're gonna. What does this have to say about war? What does this have to say about family? And hey, no, we're talking about the themes of the book, and what it will have to say. There we go.
Literally, fucking literally is one of the biggest themes of the book.
Fucking literally is literally one of the biggest themes. So Noah. Here, I'll start out with this is a 5 confidence prediction here, and this is something that they thought they could sneak past me, but I see it coming from a mile away, and it was going to be a thing where they're like, oh, we're setting this up now, and we're going to look so smart when we do it, but I see it coming. So Noah, the whole thing is about war and how to live in it, how to end it, etc. And we got the most recent Saga thing we got, other than I guess the collection of trade paperbacks, was the compendium of Hazel's hand with the little Jabara bracelet.
Yeah.
Pointing up.
So
don't step on what I'm saying. Don't step on what I'm gonna say, Noah. Don't you dare steal my thunder here. I swear to God.
Okay.
So
are we not gonna talk about what I discussed as my theory for this?
Okay. We can set that up first.
Okay, so John was saying he had a theory about the compendium.
Yeah.
Before we were talking, I said my theory is that compendium 1 is the finger pointing up. Compendium 2 is going to be a butthole. So if you stack them on top of each other, it's going to look like a finger going into a butthole. That's my
whose butthole is
thematic theory. Unclear. Unambiguous butthole.
It's more
probably
metaphorical.
a great one though. Probably though a robot butthole.
Okay, that way they can publish it. That way they can put it on shelves.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's my actual theory that I'm a 5 out of 5 confident in.
That the
and
second
it
one
is
gonna be a
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck. No, what did I just fucking say? The second one's gonna be a peace sign. And it's gonna be like, this is compendium 1, the second one's compendium 2, so it's a 1 and a 2, but the second one is a peace sign. And it's and by the end of it, it's gonna be, I fucking hate you, Noah. This is why I don't fucking do shit live. But it's gonna be that great little like, oh, at the end we get peace. We get the end of the war. And isn't it so smart that it's a number 2 and it's a peace sign? And it's like they tried to pull a quick one on us.
Number 2s also come from buttholes, John.
Oh my God,
There's
all
a
fits
connection
together.
there.
I'm so fucking angry right now. So I think that'll be a big thing. Is my biggest hopes and dreams for the themes of this is Basify, Faceify, we've been talking about robot buttholes, but we've made some predictions on how the new series will start and who's going to be the first to die and some fun species we've seen, and we're getting into later in the series. So yeah, I think that my big hope for this is that we get what Game of Thrones just totally dropped the ball on, which is how to actually break the wheel. How to get anything resembling peace, and the whole, war is over if you want it.
I very much think the opposite. I do not think it's going to end in peace. I think war is going to continue, and I think we're going to end with this is how an idea is born, and it's going to be Hazel holding a child. It's not going. I don't think Hazel's going to give birth. Hazel has said that she doesn't want to. But I think it's going to be about. I think ultimately, the ultimate theme, bigger than violence and war and stuff like that, is family. Ultimately, it's a story about family, and it's a story. I think by the end, it's going to be a multi-generational family story, and we're gonna end with maybe even like Hazel's like grandchild or something. Like we're gonna end with, and again,
don't get too much into the specifics of the actual ending. Keep it to theme stuff for now. But because we'll get to that.
I think we're gonna end on something with family. Like I think it's gonna be essentially the like idea being born, the family thing.
Now
the family is the idea, right?
Well, you know what? I think that, but also, peace is an idea, man. I think it'll be, it's hard to say with Brian K. Vaughan, because a lot of his stuff ends very, sort of pessimistically, if you look at Y the Last Man, or just at least bittersweet. Especially if you look at Ex Machina, not to spoil anything for you, but it's a very
Paper Girls.
It's a very sort of pessimistic thing. But also, I don't know. I think that Saga is such a different thing for him, a different beast. That I could Odd Amy says I think the idea of peace will be the end. I think I'll take the other camp of the idea of extending your feelings about family and everything on a mass scale, and looking at that in terms of how to live with each other, globally or galaxy wide. It is your takeaway from the family themes in addition to the family.
I think the theme is, like, in terms of war and peace, it's gonna come a lot more with, the concept of, like, to steal a phrase from one of my favorite albums, joy as an act of resistance. I think what it's going to be is, it's going to be that the way you, kind of to do Heist's thing, like, the way that you defeat war is like the opposite of war is fucking. Like it's going to be like, I think in general, creating family, creating art, and it's gonna end with people defiantly creating and choosing to be happy in the face of a world that is horrific and tyrannical. And it'll be fitting given that it's 2028 when it comes out.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll get all that stuff, but as a lead up to how we eventually get peace. I think, well, I'll say this at least. I think we'll get the end of this war. I think that there will be no illusions about we'll never get another war again. But I think my main inspiration for this is that I know we're going to get that fucking peace sign as the compendium number 2 cover.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be the end of this war and getting to there with creation, with radical creation.
Alternative idea. The second compendium is a middle finger, and it ends Miracle Man style with a nuclear holocaust that annihilates the whole galaxy.
We figured it out. All right, and also I do think we are going to get some kind of nuke analog. I think will be introduced in terms of all their because we got the Middle East and stuff. I think we're gonna get a Cold War style thing. I think we're gonna get some. It's either going to be sink or swim, everyone dies, or we get something resembling somewhat peace. I think we're gonna get at least a ceasefire.
I also am going to say, like, I know that he's like has an ending plotted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna say a lot of the ending, I think, depends on what happens in the world. Because Saga, while it exists in another world, it is constantly, clearly talking about issues of its time.
Fidget spinner.
Right? Like, yes, exactly. Fidget spinners, abortion, the Middle East, the 3 big issues.
That new issue
the
of
early
abortion.
2010s. That new
I remember
issue of the Middle
when
East.
he plotted it out. When he plotted out abortion, the abortion arc in 2011, he had no idea that it was going to be such a hot button topic. He had to add that in later. All right. Well, let's get, because we're creeping into endgame stuff, but let's move to section 5 here, which is talking about. Here, I'll type it in the chat. Where do we see some characters' arcs going?
My big one on this that I'm very confident in, I would put it at a 4.5, is the Will becoming a pacifist. We talked about this earlier. Like, I very much think that that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be like, it's gonna be that classic thing of, I think him coming to terms. I mean, it could be very Marco like of him having to live with what he's done. And it's actually so interesting that, did we ever get, I mean, we've seen the horrors of what Marco saw, but we never really got that moment he decided to be a pacifist, right? Like when he got, because I think we knew that he was, he laid down his arms or something when he was captured, and that's weird that we never really got that. But it could be because we're gonna essentially get a form of it with the will of him going through a similar thing.
We do have the moment of him like melting a child's face and having like a bit of a realization there. Yeah.
By the way, I'll bring this up again. No, I'll save it for there. I have some really juicy stuff to talk about the next podcast we record, which for everyone listening, it will be the end of the current arc. We are about to record issue 42.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fucking miserable episode.
Yeah, but I'm finally, because I've been like putting it off emotionally, but I'm finally excited for it because of all the other stuff, especially this read through. I picked up some really fucking cool shit, and a listener sent me a very interesting piece of information that I'm excited to talk about. So look forward to issue 42 in, I don't know, 5 weeks or something. But yeah, so I think that, I think we'll definitely get a full The Will redemption arc, which will make it all the more devastating when Squire catches up with him. And I think that's going to be the big thing. So talking about Squire here, I want it to go. I've already talked about, I think he'll be trained by Petrichor. I think he's going to be on that path to revenge. He's going to be perpetuating that cycle. I think with his screens not being crayons anymore, he's gonna be mature, very young, and this is what I want to see, Noah. I want to see a Shakespearean patricide, regicide or whatever. Him taking through force, taking the throne, killing King Robot.
I was thinking that too. I want to see. I just have so many questions about that. Like if he does that, does his head grow giant, or does he? I mean, I think,
like how's the hive mind work? Is it like a?
Actually, here's it. Here's it. I don't think he takes the throne. I think he abolishes monarchy on the robot planet.
Yeah. Oh man, just like, again, I like that idea of just like, he's just this rogue agent that wants one thing at this point, and he wants to tear shit down. And I mean, I want it to be Succession with Squire, for sure. I think that, and I think it'll come to a head. And I'm gonna save some of this for what's the state of things in specifically issue 108, because
Squire,
I think some of these things will happen
Kendall.
at
Squire
the. Oh
is
yeah,
pure
yeah.
Kendall.
Squire is pure Kendall. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna save how all this resolves for what is the state of things in 108.
So,
but
Sophie is a shiv, by the way. That's her. Sophie's a shiv.
So yeah, I think that's where Squire's going. I think it's gonna be, and I think Petrichor is only gonna be. I mean, and then we have this. I think, you know, if anyone's likely to butt heads, I think Sophie has this really bad enabler in the form of Gwen, and I think that Squire has this enabler in terms of like violence and buying into the state of things and shit, and like the, you know, status quo. I think that Petrichor is going to, you know, teach Squire how to be violent and stuff, because Petrichor certainly isn't a fucking pacifist at this point.
Oh yeah, Petrichor buys hard into the violence.
Yeah, and so I think those are going to be kind of these enablers for the next generation. So I really, really want to talk about what I think is going to happen with Clara.
Okay.
I think that Clara, the next time we see Clara will be heading up I'm gonna say this is gonna be another 5 for me, another 5 in confidence, a big one for me. I think that Clara is going to be heading up a new, almost rebel alliance, the Revolution for Peace,
the last Revolution 2.0,
essentially, but good, where she will have radicalized everyone in the prison, including some guards, and along with Lexus, and we're going to see them as the inklings of the new rebel alliance that will ultimately end the war. And I think that Clara. Oh, and I would love to see fucking rebel, like, guerrilla warfare Noreen be in their group. That would make me so fucking happy. But love that. I think that Clara we will, you know, figure out the state of things when Clara arrives to Hazel, and wants Hazel to be sort of their symbol of peace and coexistence. And I think Hazel, as stated in a lot of the voiceover, does not want it. And I think that's going to be a major thing, is that Hazel has the potential for this significant figure of, we can coexist, we can intermingle, we can procreate, but I don't think Hazel is going to want to take part in that. And I think that Clara will absolutely kind of pressure her as much as she can into being that. This
is kind of not character predictions, but I think this is a broader one I should have mentioned earlier. I think Hazel's not the only hybrid.
Yeah. That's actually, I think I have that down for what are some things you want to see happen most. Yeah, I think we will get another main hybrid character, and I think that they will eventually become, you know, the symbol for peace or whatever in lieu of Hazel. But that is something that we've talked about before. I think in the most recent episode that came out today. Yeah. Is that why have we not seen more hybrids? Because it doesn't really, I think it's a thing that's just not really acknowledged, but makes perfect sense. And it's kind of, the only reason we don't question it is because it's not questioned in the text, but it doesn't make sense for them to be the only ones.
It's an interesting narrative to, it's almost propagandizing to you, right?
Exactly.
Like any time there have been people, like, you know, at odds with each other, people, like, there have always been interracial relationships, like relationships between ethnic groups that hated each other, relationships between families that hated each other. Like that's just part of the human, or, you know, general Saga being condition.
yeah, which actually, and to talk a bit about you know, how some of these things the dynamics could start to change. The droid you're looking for said, I want Hazel and Sophie to meet somehow, and then Odd Amy said, yeah, I'd love Hazel and Sophie to meet completely apart from what each is dealing with. I really think that, and again, this is to kind of enforce my idea of peace at the end, I think, Sophie and Hazel would absolutely get along. I think Sophie doesn't have that horse in the race of fuck the other side, they're monsters, and if she's getting into politics, that could be, like, I would love to see, you know, Supreme Leader Gwendolyn at the end of this, or whatever. High Cleric.
speaking of next characters to die, Vez is pretty high on
Oh
the.
yeah,
She's
oh
not
yeah.
a main character,
And I mean,
but
yeah.
I would put Vez pretty high on the to die.
And I could see Gwendolyn doing it too with that connection she has.
That would make things very awkward with Falur.
Yeah, I mean, I really want I want there to be that peace. I want there to be that, because I think that's another thing with peace and stuff is how do you get the power away from the powerful? And so I think we're going to be, Gwendolyn or even Sophie taking control. Well, way less likely Sophie because she's not horned. But I think Sophie will be her. There we go. And I think that I think we'll get Gwendolyn at the top of the food chain for Wreath, and I think we will get Gale as President Gale for the wings, and that will lead to the sort of uneasy truce/Cold War instead of the active theater of war that we have now. And of course, Vice President McHenry to President Gale.
Also,
that's a big prediction for me. Vice President McHenry, President Gale for sure. Someone make that bumper sticker.
Speaking of not being horny, I predict that we will see a asexual character, an openly asexual character.
You know what? Yeah, I have that down as my prediction for Hazel. And I think that's a good are you cool with going into the state of specifically 108?
Well,
was there any other
we've only really touched on character arcs. Like where's Alana gonna go? Like
Alana's 100% gonna die. Alana's 100% gonna die, which I'm sad, but I do think it's
call me naive, but I don't think Alana's gonna die. Or if Alana dies, I think Alana will die like at the end of old age. Like I genuinely I am gonna eat these words so hard. You're gonna be able to.
I mean, I love when we disagree with things.
You're gonna be able to pull this recording and play it for me live, and I will react to this. But I really,
I think that
I'm Charlie Brown with the football, and Brian K. Vaughan is Lucy.
No, I think that we're gonna get a lot of really great. I mean, it's just that I think. Well, first of all, it's the fucking Marco dying that I'm now looking back at everything and being like, here's all the signs, and I've been seeing those signs for Alana too, and a lot of it can kind of be written off of like, well, yeah, Hazel is separated from Alana for a lot of different things, but it is always in the past tense that she refers to Alana in everything. It's my mother never did go back to her home planet and shit like that, where it's just like he's putting it right in our fucking faces, and I know it for a goddamn fact. He's gonna die. But yeah, no, I think that, but I do think we're gonna get a lot of good. I think that we're gonna get amazing storylines about Alana struggling after to find, to move on with life and find love again. I'm really excited to what happens with canonically Chim. And man, if it's even close to Chim, I'm gonna be fucking elated.
I will lose if it's Chim. I will buy everyone. I don't know. I'll buy everyone something.
You'll buy everyone.
Yeah. No. A specific storyline, and maybe this should have been something that's earlier, but a specific storyline that I think we're going to see for a character that I think is going to be really fun and interesting is we're going to see Hazel go through puberty, right?
Yeah,
that's very much going to be a big arc. Like we're gonna see there will 1,000%. I will put this at like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fucking certainty. There is going to be an arc of her getting her first period.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, well, that's the thing that and we'll really touch on this the state of things in 108 because I think I have a lot of predictions for specifically Hazel. But yeah, I will say, Treasure Looking For says that she'll be really horny. But also Trenton points out in your favor, old grandma old grandma looking Alana is a strong visual in my mind, so I don't think she'll die until then. And of course, like I say, like, you know, Hazel refers to her in the past tense and stuff. That's also just a classic fucking BKV red herring too, of just like, of course he's gonna refer to her.
He's playing you for the fool, John. You're the one that's the
I
fool
need
here.
to fucking emotionally prepare myself.
You're the one that's the fool. Nobody I love is going to die. If anyone's gonna die in the first arc, BKV is going to introduce me to a new character, make me fall in love with that character, and then kill that character in the same arc.
All right, let's get to what's the state of things in number 108. We're getting into the end game
erotic
here.
The state of things is erotic.
So here's the thing, because I need to just do a bunch of catching up of all the shit I teased for the end here. First of all, I want to point out that if it's the end of 2028 that this is coming out, I think that in issue 108, Hazel turns 18. I'm gonna say this with like a 3 or 4 confidence here, but I think that that's going to be that we will have watched in real time Hazel grow up, because it will be close to, I think, 17 years since the first issue. And, you know, I think they'll just do like a 1 year later time jump at the end or some shit. But I think that we will have watched Hazel's entire life up to her turning 18 at the end. And yeah, and I thought about, like, you know, I was like, oh, well, it'd be interesting if it mirrored, like, if she was pregnant at the end and that's how it starts and that's the perpetual thing. But I do think, like, to speak on her possibly being asexual, I think that's more likely than her being pregnant by the end, because I
don't think she's going to be pregnant. Mm-hmm. I think she's going to start a family.
Who's
the two are very different things.
Yeah, but who's baby? Well, that's the thing though, is she said she doesn't want to have, because that you question if that child talking to her dad on the beach is saying specifically, I don't want to go through childbirth, but I do want to have a baby, because it sounds looking at that conversation, I don't want to have kids.
But I think she will want a family. It might not be kids,
but she'll have one by that point. That's the beauty of it.
But I think it'll be her, like, starting a family of her own, right? Like, not just the broader family, but like I think she will be starting her own family in some way or another. It doesn't necessarily need to be her having a kid. Like, there's lots of ways that people start families.
Here's another nice one where we can diverge, and either way one of us is right.
Yeah.
So I like that.
She will start a family, or she won't start a family.
Yeah. Watch, she's just like, I'm sponsoring a family elsewhere, and I've found a loophole. But yeah, I think it's entirely possible that she's asexual. But here's the thing that I think really works against the asexual part is here's the other possibility there. And it's weird. I was like, this would be fucking weird, but also Saga is fucking weird. And it is that Hazel loses her virginity, and it is the fucking is the opposite of war thing.
Hazel could be asexual and lose her virginity.
That's also true, but I do think that to kind of get into, I mean, that's the tricky thing with, like, the fucking is the opposite of war. But I do think it would be some kind of, you know, I don't know. It's a like, there's so many ways, and that's the fucking brilliance of how this has played out so far. There's so many ways it could go. But I do think that, you know, it could be like we get a prolonged sort of romance leading up to that. And I think that, you know, the idea of her losing her virginity it feels weird knowing her as a kid now, but I think by the time we get there and she's 18 we'll have seen, you know, period arc and the whole developing crushes potentially and stuff like that. Like, yeah, there's a lot of ways to play it, and I like the idea of, you know, she's very much her own person. Not repeating just not perpetuating this cycle that her parents started. I think they've done a great job of that so far, of her just straight up saying, like, I don't want to have kids and stuff, because I remember that really hit me, of just like, oh wow, they kind of just took that off the plate, huh, of her having a kid, because that feels like a natural sort of progression of this.
Because someone saying something definitely takes it off of the plate.
I think I really sincerely believe all of the setup stuff we've gotten so far. If she's gonna be a singer, she's not gonna have kids. I really do, because here's the thing: there is
something that I wanted to note quickly before we get into this, though, John.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you were saying, like, you don't think she's gonna be ace because you could see her, like, having a romance and stuff. And again, like, she could be ace without being aromantic.
I think what I'm trying to say with that is specifically, I think it would be a bummer if she was asexual and it ended with her losing her virginity and it was something she didn't fucking enjoy or was not into. I think that is the thing that I'm saying, is that in the case of it ends with that.
Makes sense. I see what
I think, and it could happen 2 arcs earlier and she realized
I just wanted to like make sure, because it could have come across wrong. Like, I don't
totally.
I trust you.
Yeah, and that's mostly me saying I don't think that specifically in issue 108 it's going to be her losing her virginity, and it's gonna be just like a fucking sad bummer or something that she's like just totally uncomfortable with, and then we're totally uncomfortable with it, and it's like, okay, see you guys, that's the end of the fucking thing you've stuck around for 17 years.
I think her being an artist, like probably a singer, but like her creating art, I think is I'm pretty confident on that, and on just like the like so much of the theme of it, and also, like, even I was watching again, like, you know, at the end you've got Marco, you know, who's starting to dabble in writing a little bit. Oh, that's a fun theory. If Hazel finds Marco's book.
That's also in my what things do you want to see happen most is just seeing Marco's novel in some capacity.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Hazel is going to be a creative of some kind, because let me tell you, as a creative, the best, like, creatives just fucking love writing stories about creatives and talking about how great creatives are. We really do. It's our favorite thing in the world.
And Odd Amy has a great comment saying, I think her being asexual really helps cement the fucking being the opposite of war is more about creation than actual sex. Which that is the way I see that playing out. But I also, just as another thing, I think I would absolutely love it if and again, this could totally play into the asexual thing too, if she's just living the nighttime smoke life that her parents dreamed of for, where it's just like that kind of cozy, lazy relationship, or just, you know, just having her just having a normal fucking life, and not like, I think that's the ultimate resolution there. Is she just has just a fucking normal life and gets to do whatever the fuck she wants. I think that is peace, ultimately. I think that would be a major play into the themes of it, is just the whole thing is so she doesn't have to be anyone special. And that's the whole point of, and then in that fucking reveal of, like, this book was a nighttime smoke the whole time. This book had the exact same,
I think that's something that I'm like,
smoke.
I think that's something that I'm pretty confident about. Like, I don't think I don't think that's like, you know, sometimes I think we live in a culture that, like, overvalues twists, because there are great twists and Saga has a ton of them, but also sometimes just telegraphing something from the beginning and that, like, happening is very satisfying. You know, like, you know, at the beginning, Frodo being given the ring and like Gandalf saying the ring must be destroyed, and Frodo going and destroying the ring feels great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's incredibly satisfying.
And I mean, and that's why I would love for there to be. I mean, that is my big thing with this specific war ending. And obviously there will be improvements to be made and shit.
But I don't think there's anything in the text that has said like this war is ending. Like everything is just all about surviving as a family in this war and living on as a family despite war. There's like I guess Heist kind of says that, but generally I don't think there's really that much that says
think a
these
lot of
people
it
aren't
will
trying to end the war.
I think a lot of it will come from Sophie and Gwendolyn and that more political side, and I think maybe the Will also could really play a major figure in that. But then also I think Clara is the kind of other one that's kind of starting this you know, radical acceptance except against trans people apparently. Yeah, I think that oh, and here's my last thing. I would love to see with Alana. Yeah, I do think she's gonna die. I would like to meet her extended family. What was it? Even was her stepmother's name that she went to summer camp with or whatever. And one thing that would be pure fan service, and this is the only fan service I'll predict for this, is I want to see at the very end of this, like in the last arc, a return to Cleve, and see.
Oh yeah.
Get that you know, give me the dragon trade again, give me some horrors, give me fucking McHenry Station there.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a return to Cleve at some point.
The piece of fan service that I want is just I know we're not gonna get many because he's gone, but just it can be a fantasy sequence, just another gratuitous Marco fucking scene, because man, I love to watch
we'll
Marco
get it.
fuck.
Oh, we'll get
I
it.
love to watch
guarantee.
Marco fuck.
That's a 5 out of 5 prediction right there. We will get Marco fucking. And then and then he'll get weird teeth or some shit, and then he'll turn into a fucking like a mobile above a crib or some weird shit. Yeah, just ruin everything. You're gonna fucking eat those words, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it'll be a Marco fucking scene, and then he'll start vomiting spiders all over someone's face,
and they're all gonna be tiny, the stalks. No, I think okay, so. I think we move on now to specifically, how does it end? What the last scene is. And Noah, don't you dare step on this or anything. I'm gonna say the final line of this book is, I am shitting. Credits. And it's gonna be the most beautiful. It's gonna be so poetic. No, okay. I think that
no. I'm gonna tell you what the final shot is gonna be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the final scene. Is gonna be like, kind of like montage pages of everyone uniting in peace around the galaxy, around the new benevolent God Emperor who has risen to the throne and ended all suffering. Yeah. And then we're gonna end on a double splash page. Waist down, we're not going to see the top, double splash page, one leg on each page, giant fucking balls hanging in the middle, fard.
There's going to be a crown upon his chode.
Yeah, exactly. That's the ending. Mark it. I will bet money that's the ending.
You will buy everyone. You know what? I will say, and this probably won't be the final scene. I probably should have brought this up in one.
Yeah, no, I just told you what the final scene
no, but the scene right before that. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think it is going to be something that really embodies the whole vibe of this fucking thing. I think we are finally going to get a face-off of the Will and Squire and Hazel. And I think it is going to be a matter of Hazel talking down Squire, then finding out this is I'm less sure of, but would fucking sting. Finding out that the will killed Marco in this moment. And I think this would be the thing that would kind of just cement a lot of these themes. That decision to forgive Will. I think we will not get a Will death. I think we will get a Will forgiveness at the end and finally break that. If it's not breaking the cycle of the war, at least break that cycle of revenge and violence with
I like that.
the Will. And in having set him up as this horrible, horrible monster who 100% deserves the violence coming to him, but just finally breaking that cycle. I think that would be very emotional for me. And yeah, I think that'll be a very affecting thing.
I honestly I really like the idea of the last scene being like you said, like a nighttime smoke, like just like, and again, it doesn't even need to be a romantic partner, just like Hazel hanging out with someone, like, and being like, hey, what are we gonna make for dinner tonight? Nah, let's just order pizza.
Yep.
You know, like I really love the idea of just a very I think there's going to be a lot of big things, but I think the final kind of like panel is just going to be something small. It's going to be something very, or even like I don't know. I do think maybe I'm just a sucker for cyclical stuff, but I do think it's going to end on the phrase, "This is how an idea is born."
That
like,
is,
I'm pretty confident about that.
I started with that, but then I kind of chickened out, and I think that it ends on a line saying the word idea, and it might be rather than reflecting that, because here's the thing that threw me off of it is that at the end of 54 we get Hazel's monologue that is literally repeating the first issues, and I think that is where we get that the end of the first issue. And I think that it's going to end with kind of the response to that, like, you know, this is how an idea becomes real or is born, and, you know, something about if it's that in the fucking past tense or something. I think it'll just say. I think it'll be a little more subtle. I'm also very into the
idea of like this is an idea is born, or this is how an idea becomes real, and the idea is them ordering pizza for the night or something like that, you know?
yeah. Well, I mean, or you're like, oh, what do you want for dinner? I have an idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or I have no idea. Odd Amy agrees with both of us. So here's another big literally final scene thing. Because I think of the thing. Because
John's about to. John knows better than BKV knows. So.
Well, here's the thing. Number one is definitely, I think this will be within the last issue at least. I really, really, truly believe the top of my list is it's just her hanging out.
It was all a dream.
It was all a dream. It's all a bit hazy. I used to read Word Up magazine. Hazily.
John,
no, so this
John,
shut up.
I want you to reflect on the life decisions that led you to making that joke.
So
are you proud of yourself?
Here's a thing where we talk about setting things up in plain sight, like rereading and seeing the lead up to Marco's death, seeing the lead up to Prince Robot's death. It's like, of course, you have a flashback to your fucking childhood or whatever. Yeah, they're gonna fucking die. Like, I know that's gonna happen, but I never see it coming. I think in the final scene, we will finally get her closing the fucking diary or book that she has been writing this whole time, that has been the narration. And
the Game of Thrones ending.
And I think that that essentially this will be her version of, like, her diary that we have now read the extent of. It will be very Watchmen, in that this is now the manifesto of the case for peace, of just like this is her nighttime smoke that she's written of and put it out, fucking Rorschach's, have fucking Upshur publish it.
I think that's I do like the ending of Upshur as like Upshur getting to write something important. Like I think that is something that's gonna happen, but I don't know. I think that's a very like that feels like a very kind of like almost like typical sort of thing, and I think BKV is gonna end it in a way. I mean, my real prediction is that BKV is going to end it in a way that we couldn't have possibly predicted.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, but that's the thing, is that I think we've really taken for granted the fact that the whole framing device for this entire series is essentially a handwritten like diary. And so I think that will come into play, and it will be again a very satisfying, like, oh, it was right in front of us the whole fucking time. Like we never questioned why is she writing this and stuff.
It just feels a little too like Game of Thrones, Samwell Tarly closing the book and Bran had the best story.
That was bullshit. But I do think this has the ability to be good ending of Game of Thrones.
I mean, this is good Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
but,
that's the thing. So what you've said just only enforces what I said. But no, I do think that even though Game of Thrones fucking sucked at it, I liked Lord of the Rings doing it, and that was fucking great. And there's certainly cross inspiration here.
No, and I think the I think the last shot. I don't know what like is going to be said during it, but I bet you the last shot is going to be a wide shot of Landfall and Wreath.
That feels a little too impersonal to me personally.
No, like I think there's going to be I think the last scene is going to be whatever, and the last shot is just going to be this shot of Landfall and Wreath.
Only if it's a match cut with like boobs or something.
Well, no. The match cut. So it's actually the second last page is going to be a double spread. The match cut is going to be each of Bard's balls.
We figured it out. All right, I'm closing the book on that section. We fucking figured it out.
Yeah, I need to go to the bathroom, so I will be back in a second.
It's going to end on Fard's balls, and it's going to say, I am shitting, and it's going to be fucking end credits. It's going to be a big I'm sorry. The end of it. All right, I will type into the chat what the next the penultimate section is, which is hitting the caps lock incorrectly. What are some things you want to see happen most? So this is generally not quite our most batshit theories, our crackpot theories, but these are just throwing some more stuff. It can fit it into the series wherever, but yeah. Oh, is he shitting? That's the real question. Droid you're looking for in the chat says, I love that, in reference to my idea, which I think, now that Noah's gone, we can agree. I'm right. The diary's going to come into play. They're not just going to not acknowledge it, right? And yeah, Aunt Amy's also been thinking about that. Yeah, I think it's that has to play into it. But I should point out, while Noah's gone, my, oh yeah, wait, why am I not doing a Johnny in the Booth radio hour? I
have one more, John. One more. I thought of it while I was peeing.
Oh, thank God.
The darkest timeline version is the series ends on 4 black pages. Like after Curdy died and the miscarriage happened.
Yeah.
That's the dark time. That's the darkest timeline version.
I hate it. I want the last issue just be like 22 pages of just solid black. Noah,
Just 22 pages of fucking.
we are in the penultimate section here, which is just what are some things you want to see happen most. So these are not our batshit theories yet, but it is just some things, some ideas that we maybe couldn't have fit into earlier things and don't necessarily fit into anything in a specific chronological way. But like I said, I had Meet More Half-Breeds in there. I have Marco's novel as one of them. I have Lying Kittens as one of those things. I've
realized, who actually I want to see as openly ace is Goose. We stand an Ace King. Goose.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I would here's some. I'm just gonna list off some things that are kind of loose ends or characters that we've met that could come back. Halvor, the Stalk's brother, would be an interesting one to see come back in some capacity.
Yeah.
I have no idea how. I think we'll see more of, whether it's a flashback or what, because we have not gotten full confirmation he's dead. But Uncle Steve / the Letter, who is the Will and the Brand's uncle, and his chameleon sidekick, would be interesting. But we did get in that emergency contact list, his name's crossed off. So I think, and they probably said specifically he's dead at some point. But I do think
I want to see a grown up, another stage of grown up time suck.
Here's actually that plays into
style kind of like devouring planets time suck.
I think that could very much be an endgame thing. Even issue 108, a full, like, literally, we get Hazel turning 18, we get a full grown adult time suck turning 18 also.
And devouring the universe, and it ends in black.
And I also think that could very much, I think the time suck is a great way to ultimately talk about how insignificant and stupid and petty our wars are in comparison of, like, there's literally this massive existential threat, climate change, that is putting, that everyone will die from. But we're worried about our dumb little fucking wars and power shit.
That is something that I want to see, and I think we will see, is an arc talking about climate change. Because like we've said, like, BKV clearly likes to kind of like talk about the issues at the time. This is the definitive issue of our time. Like, I think that's something where I would be pretty confident that we'll get an arc that's a climate change analog.
Oh yeah, and time suck is climate change. It would be fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking, I want a full astronomical. I want an astronomical to fight a time suck too. In vain. Like, just that be the dumb thing that they, that the Wings attempt to try to stop the time suck, but I want an astronomical versus a time suck.
I want a sword fight.
Yeah. I mean,
there hasn't been a sword fight in Saga.
That's fucking weird. How do we get a sword fight?
How do we?
A lot of freelancers have swords, so it could be a matter of, Petrichor versus a freelancer or something. I will say we've gotten also. I wouldn't be surprised if we got 2 other freelancers that have been mentioned but have not shown up. The Import and the Fluke were mentioned very early on, and I would just be like, oh, that was just filler. But we got the March, like, fucking 7 volumes later.
I will never believe anything is filler post Ianthe, or Ianthe, or however.
Yeah.
Like, she has made me believe that every single thing that we possibly see is going to come back.
That's another loose end. I think Ianthe mentions her boss, and I have no idea who the fuck that's in reference to.
Yeah.
Of, like, what my boss, whatever, and also, here's one I'm really excited about. Do you remember that Petrichor did a spell to try to summon someone to fuck? on I think it's
Yeah,
called
no,
permeable.
no. Yeah,
And
yeah, it
and she
succeeded.
burns. Huh?
It succeeded.
Oh yeah, it 100% work.
Yeah,
And
because Robot came, right?
yeah. Oh, he came. But
He really came.
but but she burns a picture of a horned person, like as like
Horny
fodder for
person
the
is
thing.
the term we like to use.
Thank you. And
Speaking as a
I
horny
think we're
person myself.
absolutely calm down. The stream's almost over.
I think the word for allosexual people should be horny people.
Yeah, I think no, I think that we'll definitely get to see whoever that is a photo of come into play with Petrichor. And yeah, those are pretty much all the
some
loose
people in the
ends.
comments.
Oh, and even I think we could see again.
Eric Gant says he hopes to see the Will reunited with Lion Cat.
Yep.
A cover suggests we're gonna see that.
Yeah.
And hope to see them more prominently featured. That one I wouldn't bet on. I think we'll get the reunion, but I wouldn't bet on them being more prominently featured, which I would also love to see that. And Trenton says Ginny. He'd like.
Yeah, we could see Ginny come back. I was already surprised to
I'd
see
like
Ginny.
to see Ginny.
Oh,
Yeah,
but yeah, you mentioned Ginny's kid, which would be interesting.
Yeah,
and we could get a flashback of Ginny's kid like having seen Hazel's wings or something, like in a scene we didn't see, and that somehow sets up something in the future.
I think something I want to see that cover suggests we're going to see, but in general, like I just would love to see even more pop culture, like pop culture in this world. Like we've seen the open circuit, we've seen references to what's the band that
could
Isabel
this band
wears?
be Pyrosis that's on 58?
No.
Could it though?
No,
be a
Pyrosis
cover band.
Dead.
Yeah, but it could be a fucking flashback thing. I don't know. That's what I was saying. It could be, or they fucking reunite.
Not everything is Pyrosis.
We don't know. So anyway,
Pyrosis will never get back together. You need to accept
that. Yeah, and I also really like Trenton's idea of seeing Wreath crash into landfall or something along those lines would be interesting. That could be, or the thing they try to avoid at the end or some shit. I would love to see the time suck just nudges Wreath into landfall and everyone fucking dies.
Here's a very it's if you know me, this will be shocking that I want to see this. But I'd kind of like to see more drugs. Like not just fade away,
like
but
different drugs,
different kinds of drugs. Yeah.
So we've gotten heroin, we've gotten fade away. What kind of drug would you like to see? I
don't know. Like what's caffeine in this world? You know,
probably just fucking coffee. I think they've probably referenced coffee at some point. That's hard for me to believe they haven't.
I don't know. Like I feel like there's like, I don't know, a drug that turns you invisible, right? like and also gives psychoactive effects. I don't know, I feel like there's like Saga is one of the like it's one of the few places that like talk about drugs as in a very honest way, as like a thing that people use that is dangerous, but also a lot of people use them and get a lot of satisfaction out of them and a lot of fulfillment and stuff like that. Like I think Saga's, in general, there's just these kind of taboo topics in culture that Saga's very good at talking about. Where it's like these
just
things
like
that
fumbling fadeaway user would be great. Like
yeah.
Which I mean was a lot of the
Yuma.
Yeah, well, yeah, to an extent until she OD'd with Marco. But there was it was the rest of the troop. Huh?
Yuma didn't OD with
Yuma
Marco.
did OD. Back me up in the comments. She OD'd when Marco OD'd.
No, Yuma was just very high and let herself burn to death. And then Marco OD'd on the rest of her stash.
Okay, if only there was some kind of way we could resolve this. Let him know in the comments. I'll be vindicated by history here. No, it was literally Robot and Goose walk in on Yuma and Marco being passed out, foaming from the mouth. It's a whole thing.
Yuma, maybe she had a good time.
Okay. Still an overdose. She literally say she OD'd. But
Look, drugs are good. Nothing bad ever happens from
okay.
drugs.
But I'm gonna say, I really like the droid you're looking for. Also says I think Alana's mom will be relevant in the future, which would be very interesting. Because we don't know shit about Alana's mom. Okay, now I gotta fucking look this up. Everyone's fucking disagree. Hold on. I know exactly where this is. Make me look shit up.
Yeah, Yuma looks pretty conked, but I don't think she's overdosed.
Looks pretty conked. Okay, hold on.
Oh, she's in an F spiral.
There we go. Yeah, you don't think that's not an OD? What's she say specifically?
She says, I'm in an F spiral. That's like falling into a K-hole. I've never done ketamine, but I don't think a K-hole is the same as overdosing.
I mean, it's the same thing that Marco's doing. So, I think that it is, I think that if we say it happened to Marco, it also happened to Yuma. And she's
just enable
she's literally
my drug
foaming
use,
from the
John. That's all I want.
Okay. I've considered myself vindicated. Okay. I will say, here's a couple more things. One, just one more thing. I'm going to say I'm very excited to eventually learn more about the creator and that time-based religion, where he's in the he's in the hours and the minutes and the seconds. And also, could it have something to do with the clockwork stars that we've flown past? I would love the clockwork stars just to be a one-off thing where it's just like, here's a pretty thing, here's some filler for the, like, I don't want everything to come back into play, certainly, but I could see that happening.
I would like, what was I gonna say? I would like just a fucking sick spaceship battle. Can we get some like spaceship dog fighting,
Yeah. I always want more action. The action's so good. I also want more
sex.
I'm pretty satisfied on the sex front. But I'm kidding. I'm never. Give me all of it. But I will say I want more horror. Because Fiona Staples is so fucking good at horror stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want is, that's how like Petrichor in the arc that we're about to read takes on that like kind of like goth look.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's always kind of goth, but like I want a just like graphic scene of Marco and goth Petrichor fucking each other, because Marco and goth Petrichor are my sexuality. I want that in a bad way. That's my my want.
If there are any artists in the chat.
Yeah.
All right, Noah, we're doing it. We're getting into the final section. What are our most batshit theories? Obviously telepathy.
Yep.
Telepathy confirmed, I think, will be issue 1, page 1.
You want to know what one of my most batshit theories might be that I don't think that Prince Robot's dead. I mean,
no joke. I literally have written down Prince Robot's head in a jar.
yeah. I think I'm pretty certain Marco's dead, but we just don't know enough about robots to know for sure if Prince Robot's dead.
Odd Amy says telepathy not confirmed in the chat. I want you all to keep all this in mind and eat your fucking words later. I can say with 100% that's a 5 out of 5 right there. Telepathy confirmed, by the way. That is a 5 out of 5 confidence. It is the thing I am most confident about over everything else. But yeah, no, I could see that would really fuck with everything we've said about Squire's arc and stuff of perpetuating the violence. But I would love Prince Robot's head in a jar would be, or put on another body or something would be very fun. I don't know if anyone's played the PS4 God of War game, but you get there's a talking head that dangles from your belt for most of the game, and
Is it David Byrne? Or
yep.
is it?
yeah. No, it's actually Ben in the chat's podcast.
It's actually Tina Weymouth.
That's it. It's
yeah. Shout out to Ben in the chat's podcast that we've both been on. Y'all should watch
check
that
it out.
if you like.
It's very good.
If you like, I don't know, people talking about stuff and cool animation. Also, if you kind of want to know what my face looks like, Ben animated my face in a way that is like
accurate and blurred.
Yeah. The animation is incredibly accurate, let me tell you.
Okay. Also, we got to get the other obligatory one. Mick Henry's fucking behind it all. Mick Henry has been has some role to play. If Mick Henry shows, if we get fucking Mick Henry in the background, if we get a fucking hair of Mick Henry, vindication.
If we get any bit of Mick Henry, I'm taking credit for it. Like, we are taking credit for it.
Fiona, if you're listening, I don't give a shit what Brian puts in the fucking script. I'm telling you right now, fuck Brian. You are the true artist here. You are the creator. You just gotta throw Mick. It just, the background. If it's anything that confirms something, where Mick Henry is just in the shadows somewhere. Or just like oddly in a very important meeting, or wearing a mustache, a fake mustache, and it's disguised somewhere, I would just be so eternally grateful. But we all know it's gonna happen anyway because Brian's had it planned from the beginning. But Mick Henry I want Mick Henry to become Gale's. I want Mick Henry to be who Gale's working for, and I think I figured it out.
No. McHenry is Yanthe's boss.
Oh, fuck, the boss. Shit, it was there all along.
We should have seen that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's it. We figured it out. God, can you fucking imagine if that was the case? Like, just the joy, the pure joy I would get from that. So, do you have more batshit theories?
I would never shut up about that.
No. I put that on my fucking resume.
Yeah.
That would be, if you go to hornsandwings.com, it would just be that fucking panel and a middle finger and nothing else.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. If Lance Corporal McHenry is proved to be, like a big player in this, I will get a Lance Corporal McHenry tattoo, and I will take a picture of it.
That will be my first tattoo. 100% we will get matching Lance Corporal McHenry tattoos if she's behind all of it. Feel free to join in on that dumb shit.
Yes.
Noah, do you have any other batshit theories? I got one more that's really fucking batshit.
I'm trying to think of what the most fucking hot take batshit theory that I can think of is.
I'll give you some time here, Noah. I think we get the return of the March, half dead. Got one skeletal head. Got one living head.
Oh no, I don't even think that's batshit. I'd call that a 2. That's at least a 2.
I mean,
because they get half says brother.
Yeah,
die.
That is why. But they're also blown to shit, and then they take the fuel out of the ship that they brought there, and it gets covered in goo. But if Fard can make it out, then certainly the March can make it out of there.
Oh yeah, and we know that Fard can make it out because Fard's coming back.
I want that fucking Boba Fett thing of the March sticking a hand out of the black goo from the time suck and fucking coming back. And I just love the idea of half of the March being dead and it being like partly skeletal. That would be just such a fucking joy. That is my pure, that's a 0.01% probability for me. The March comes back half alive, but goddamn if it happens, I'm buying everyone a drink.
I like Eric Gant's batshit theory Goose and his people are industrialists and are secretly behind the whole war. Landfall plus 3 equals conflict.
We've
I love that.
heard the treasure of the Goose family or whatever the fuck it was. Like, we have had some reference to Goose's family. Oh my god, if we get to go to Goose Colony, if we get a whole fucking sea of seals, like, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah,
You know.
that'll be too much.
All right. Do we want to? Okay. Here's our final batshit theory. How is Fard coming back?
Okay, so what's going to happen?
Here's the thing. Here, really quick. I do want you to feel free to factor this in or not. I would love to hear an actual sincere explanation for how Fard would come back to this series that makes any fucking logical sense.
Here is my actual sincere explanation that makes logical sense.
Mm-hmm.
Fard is not an individual. Fard is an idea. That's
how an idea is. That's how an idea becomes real. Fard is the
idea. Essentially, the way that Fard comes back is that
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be this iteration of Fard, but anytime there is a time suck planet, Fard is like part of that ecosystem. Think of him more like a white blood cell or something, you know, like a micro a bacterium. I'm not a biologist. I don't know what a white blood cell is, but I know that it's an album by the White Stripes. But no, think of Fard as
it's
like
very
a part
it's
of
very
the
under the skin.
Of
it's
this
very
planet.
under the skin for anyone that's seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I haven't seen it. But yeah, like a time this time suck will find another time suck and they will breed, and when they breed, a new time suck planet will be born, and that planet on it will have a Fard.
I like the idea of just Now here's the thing. If they're not all named Fard, what would another one be named?
Bard.
There we go. The immortal Bard. So
the Bard. That's what they talk about when they say, you know, the Bard.
Yeah,
that's
what they say. Yeah, I think it's totally gonna happen. So I just wanna round this out by saying
Darf. Odd Amy says Darf for the other Fawns name. I'm taking that.
So fucking good.
I really like Darf.
All right, let's start to wrap this up by saying, that I would sincerely be happy if absolutely none of these things happen. And I want to point out that, you know, expectations, we see it constantly with fucking movies of, like, you know, sequels and shit where people have all these theories and have all these expectations and then think it's fucking bullshit when it doesn't go the way they wanted to. The Last Jedi. And I think that expectations are the death of subversive art, and Saga is the most subversive art. And the great thing about Saga is its inventiveness, and I could not have predicted any of the fucking characters before I met any of them. And, you know, like, there's gonna be a million new characters that change the story in a million different ways. In summary, this is all totally futile and stupid, and I'm sorry for wasting your night. But it was fun to dream. If we get one of these right, that'll be a feather in our cap, certainly.
If Lance Corporal McHenry isn't behind it all, I am doxing Brian K. Vaughan and showing up at his house.
No, we'll just each individually give our productive criticism, and make sure he's getting thousands and thousands
resign from being a Saga fan.
And then, you know, we'll make all that money from our Indiegogo campaign to create our own version of how Saga should have ended. And it won't be
and then we will disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah, no, I think that it was still super fun just to hang out with you guys again. Very, very chill, very exciting. Nice to talk.
There is new Saga tomorrow.
There's new
Like,
Saga.
how? What the fuck?
It's weird.
How's that true? How's
It's
that a
fucking
thing?
weird. Noah and I have talked about how weird it is just because it's like we have approached it as like a historical document for the last what 2+ years now. And so for us to be talking about a thing that is coming out and us not knowing what's gonna happen the next issue when we eventually catch up, like it's nuts.
Since when we started this podcast, the hiatus was already when we had the idea.
Oh,
of
it was
this
like
podcast,
a year into
the hiatus
it, right?
was already a year old. Yeah,
and we're like what's taking so long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So it's gonna be fun. We will be caught up before the end of this arc, which is fucking insane to me. And then we'll be able to get to do lots of fun shit like this.
A lot more stuff like this will come in the future. A lot more just kind of us speculating, theorizing, talking about theme, talking about stuff with spoilers,
diving into stuff that
stuff.
we wanted to talk about but didn't necessarily have the time for, and everything. Like we've already talked about all the different conversations and topics we want to talk about. Like it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. I'm very excited for it, and I'm also excited to just fucking pump out a bunch of fucking episodes, like, and just get
pow
caught up, and and finally
that's the sound of us pumping out a bunch of episodes in case.
Oh, I was worried about what that sound was. Thank you for clarifying. And yeah, I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a good year.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
And much like Saga, will end with
Lance Corporal McHenry theory is more viable than this being a good year.
It's gonna be a good year, and both this year and Saga will end with global peace, and it's gonna be beautiful. All right.
Love you all.
Thank you so much.
It's really fun to do this again.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting Saga. Thanks for coming in to this.
Yes. Thank you all. Super fun.
Should we send him off, John? Should we send him off?
Yeah, but we're gonna do it at the same time. Are you ready?
All right. We're not gonna count in.
No, we're not gonna do it.
We're just gonna naturally do it.
Yep. Okay. I want us to take a breath.
Am I
shitting? We did it! Look at us. Okay, bye.